The heart of the new industrial city was the factory. Defined as a place in which workers and machines were brought together to produce large quantities of goods, the factory forever revolutionized industry. However, it also presented many unforeseen challenges and dangers to both the working class and European society. Because early machines ran solely on water, the first factories were built near rapidly moving streams and rivers. Then, in 1763, a Scottish inventor named James Watt developed a new design of steam engine. Factories no longer needed to be near rivers and could now be built almost anywhere. As a result, factories sprouted up all across England, usually in or around small market towns. At the dawn of the Industrial Revolution, England's economy was dominated by the textile industry and the production of cotton cloth. The first step in this process was the spinning of cotton fibers into thread, which was then hand-spun into cloth. Because this step was usually carried out in workers' homes and cottages, England's textile industry became known as a cottage industry. As the Industrial Revolution took hold of Europe, many new machines were developed, such as John Kay's flying shuttle, James Hargreaves's spinning jenny, and Richard Arkwright's water frame. These new machines increased production speed greatly, but were too large and too expensive to be operated at home. In answer to this problem, Arkwright, the father of the factory, called for the construction of large sheds to house the equipment. These massive buildings allowed countless workers and machinery to operate all under one roof, which greatly stimulated production. Life was harsh for factory workers. Because the machines needed to be run as long as possible, workers had strict schedules and were forced to work anywhere from 12 to 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. Punishments were severe, and there were steep fines for even the simplest acts, such as opening windows, whistling, and fixing machines with a gas lamp. The factories themselves were dark, crowded, and dirty. High temperatures, poor ventilation, and overall bad working conditions led to a gradual deterioration of health. Furnace workers would often go blind after too much exposure to bright light. Others would suffer from hearing loss or respiratory problems due to the loud machinery and polluted air. Workers were continually exposed to innumerable dangers and suffered many accidents from machines lacking safety mechanisms. To make matters worse, workers would promptly be fired without medical attention or financial compensation. Factory life was especially difficult for women and children. Women were kept from their homes and families for hours on end, which made family life nearly impossible. They received only 1/3 or 1/2 of what the men earned, usually for the same amount of work. Children were treated as slaves in the early factory system. They worked long shifts, performing dangerous tasks in dark, unsanitary conditions that would lead to health problems later in life. Treated very poorly, they were often subject to cruel abuse. A common punishment was waiting, in which a child was forced to hang a very heavy weight from their neck and walk up and down the aisles for all the other children to see and take example. The early factory system, though necessary for furthering modern industry, instilled many problems into Europe's society. The population of industrial towns skyrocketed, which led to overcrowding and unsanitary living conditions. Poverty and disease ran rampant. Homes were not much more than hastily built slums, and cities were dirty, crowded, and polluted. However, the early factory system also engendered much advancement. Factories led to the urbanization of many industrial towns. They allowed for mass production, which led to the creation of more jobs. They strengthened the middle class and called for the specialization of workers and later, the development of interchangeable parts. In the factory system, labor was divided, which decreased production costs and increased efficiency. Overall, the factory system was a key development that effectively furthered society. The Industrial Revolution was a period of great change that consisted of innumerable achievements in Europe's society, industry, agriculture, and economy. It was a key turning point that turned the once solely agrarian continent into an urbanized industrial giant. New technologies in agriculture, industry, and transportation increased efficiency and brought about many changes, ultimately advancing the human race and forever altering the course of history.